A Derbyshire MP was in Westminster yesterday afternoon speaking about something very close to his heart, children in care. Derbyshire Dales MP John Whitby spent many years as a foster carer. John joins us now. Morning, John.
Morning, Twiggy.
Morning. Look at you with your fanciness standing up there yesterday. Were you nervous?
Absolutely.
Was that your first time?
That was the first one where it's been sort of my debate, yeah. So you put in for a debate and then you leave it, so you get like a 20-minute speech, and then other MPs will make interventions, they'll ask questions, and then when I've finished my sort of 20-minute slot, the minister responds to that. So yeah, it's not the first speech I've made in Parliament, but it's the first debate that's been sort of in my name. So yeah, right. It was a bit of an occasion.
Let's get down to it. What exactly were you debating?
Well, it's children in care and government policy towards children in care. So for me, it was a case of sort of saying how we've got to the position we're in, and a little bit about what's happening at the moment, what the current government is proposing, and a bit more that I'd like us to do. So that was essentially, in a nutshell, the 20 minutes of a speech. But, you know, it's in a tough position at children in care right now, financially, lots of reasons why. But, you know, there's a lot more children in care than there were a few years ago, and that's causing major pressure on local authorities. Yeah, that's the issue we face.
If children can't be looked after by their parents, how much better is it for them to be cared for by other family members rather than go into care, John?
No, that's good. And I think that's one of the... Well, in the debate, obviously, we had various people intervening, and a lot of those were sort of talking about more support for kinship carers. And I think that's a real drive nationally, that kinship carers, people who you know, maybe family members, wider members of the family, that they can take children on, and that's got to be good for the children, hasn't it? Rather than having to go through the whole court process, etc., and going into care. So we need to support those children more, and the services that are available for children in care. I think one of the big things from yesterday was we need to sort of extend those services to children in kinship care, and there is. One of the features in the bill that's going through Parliament at the moment is that all local authorities will have to publish a kinship offer. So hopefully they will get more support in the future, which is a positive, obviously, all round. Did
you get a lot of hear, 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 John?
I got a little bit of hear, hear, yes. It's always good to hear that. It's odd, the whole parliamentary process, but yeah, there is. I mean, even the language, you have to use the parliamentary language. I can't say to people, I can't say you. I have to always go through the chair, so it's always him or her. Members, honourable members, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, John, it's a bit odd.
It's no secret, I know this for a fact, you and your lovely wife, you've fostered children, haven't you, for quite a while?
25 years. Well, obviously, we haven't done it for a few months because I've been doing other things, and I'm busy. But up until last April, we've pretty much had children for 25 years, 26 children altogether, I think, mainly teenagers.
Is that difficult?
Well, at times it is, of course, but, you know, it's a fantastic thing to do. And you know what, I tell you what, the payoff for me, if there's a payoff, is you see, certainly with the teenagers, they get to 18, they leave care, and you see them do okay. You see them, you know, get on with life and become part of society and get jobs and stuff, and that's absolutely fantastic.
Is that what makes you do it, John? Because you've seen success and you've seen them come out the other side, and that drives you on to do it again.
Absolutely, and you want them to sort of break the cycle. You know, some of these children have come from, obviously, well, they've all come from a difficult place, and you want them to sort of do well, and their children to do well and stay with them and be successful. And so far, absolute fingers crossed, of course, but the children of the children we've had are still with their parents and doing well, and that's really fantastic.
You and your good lady must be very proud when you've seen them do that, and they probably couldn't have done that without you.
Well, possibly. Listen, we are incredibly proud of many of them. We're still in touch with. That's the thing.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, not all of them, but many. I think that we're still in touch with, and so you have that ongoing relationship, and people have issues occasionally. It might be a few years, and then they'll get back in touch, and that's great. I mean, one of the children we had, one of my first days in Parliament, I was actually in the chamber and he rang me, and I hadn't spoken to him for about 3 years. So I just ran out and took the call. And that's great. And just to say, and I'm not just plugging what the government's doing, but one of the things, actually the previous government started this, so I'm completely fair here. This thing called Staying Close, which is a great innovation, and it's a bit like what we do as foster carers, where we stay in touch with the children we had. The children in residential care don't tend to get that sort of help, but there's a program called Staying Close where they will, which is brilliant, because you need that ongoing support.
Can I just wind you back 25 years to when, because you used to be in a band. I know you're a musician. I know lots about you, John Whitby. What made you do it? It's a big step, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do struggle to remember if there's any particular reason. My wife she was a teacher at the time. She's a head teacher now, but she was a teacher, I suppose often talking about some of the children she had who were going through major problems. It was always something I'd thought, would be a great thing to do. And to be honest, a lot of people do think that. I know for definite people consider it because, it's a good thing. Maybe I didn't overthink it, which is a good thing as well. And we sort of decided, well, it's a good thing. Let's go through the process. It's a long process, I've got to say. Yeah. And the odd thing about us at the time was we didn't have our own children, which is a bit odd. But we just thought, well, listen, we'll make a difference for one child, and then we'll go and do our own stuff. But of course, once you're in the system, they just keep asking you to take more children. So we had our own kids, and then we just took more and more foster placements.
You had your own children as well?
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's listening to this now, John? And I really appreciate you coming on. What would you say to someone who maybe is thinking about it?
Yeah, well, obviously do. Please do. There is a huge need. And I suppose one of the positives of lots of children in care is there'll probably be a child that fits the bill. There's a good match for you because there's so many of them. So, and people can do respite. They can do younger children, older children, whatever is going to suit them. But please do at least give it a chance. There's often sort of evening meetings where you can come along and just hear more about it. If you want to get in touch, it's Foster for East Midlands. They are basically the local authority fostering sort of front door for Derby, Derbyshire, Nottingham and Nottinghamshire. They're all sort of grouped together. Yeah. So if you find Foster for East Midlands, that's the people to contact, and they'll take you through the process. They'll give you more advice. They'll give you support. And the key thing to say is just quickly what they're doing now, what they didn't used to do, which is brilliant, is you're sort of a bit on your own at the start, but not anymore. There's this great new innovation called Mockingbird. They'll link you with a experienced foster carer who will look after several new foster carers, give you loads of support. You'll get to know all the other new carers, and it will hopefully give people the support they need.
Just one thing before you go, John, and I hope you don't mind me throwing this at you because you've not been prepped at all for this at all. Is there any news, and when are you going to stand up and debate the return of the co-op cow to its rightful place where we can all see it, because we can't see it, John. You're an MP. I want you to lobby. Go and have a word with the Chief Whip.
Well, now I've had my first debate on children care, I can put in for one on the co-op cow, can't I?
Because you want the co-op cow returned to its former place.
Oh, absolutely. What were we talking about? 50 metres above every other building in Derby? I mean, it's got to be prominent, hasn't it?
I used to come in on the number 7 Hena bus. I used to come in and I knew I was in Derby. Why John Whitby MP? Because I could see the co-op cow in neon.
I tell you, the guys in my band will be squirming now, because that was the thing. We used to come back from wherever we'd been at a ridiculous hour in the morning, and I'd say, "We're back. We're home. I can see the co-op cow." Absolutely. You're a good man, Twiggy. You're a good man.
Thank you. I know I am. Derbyshire Dales MP John Whitby there. The Children's Minister, Janet Davey, says the government's determined to crack down on independent agencies who take money to care for children but often don't do a good enough job. John Whitby there for us. BBC Radio Derby Morning.
Breakfast with Andy Twigge.